Ian.
Dave.
Thank you for hopping on, Crypt Keeper. The crypt's on the other foot. Body. Yeah, skeleton. Yeah.
It has been a couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. So
I think. I'm told it's been a few days. I'm not sure.
You don't even know anymore. In fact, you may just be talking to a sheet of drywall in a hotel room, thinking that it's your friend Dave.
Would not be the first time.
Also, just as white.
Yeah.
So, but Ian, tonight on Apex Adjacent, greatest automotive podcast in the known universe, greatest music podcast in the known universe. I not only am I wearing my Out Motorsports shirt, because you should definitely send those folks some cash and get a t-shirt and sign up for their newsletter and all that stuff. But Ian, I got you, boo. I'm taking care of you tonight. Okay.
That's good. That's
all
good.
right?
Are you going to sing me a lullaby? Because that's what I need.
You do not want me to sing you a lullaby. You've heard me try to sing before. Yeah. Let's see here. Ian, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. You have a rental car report for us and an album of the week. I have a license plate game. We got some Listener My Eyes. I got some Lemony updates, and I have a crazy blast from the past. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So let's kick this shit off, buddy. What do you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right before we start,
it's
related to your Lemon's car report. I do have one thing that I forgot to put on the talk about that I want to address really quick.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm going to put myself in a position. So, and then for the audio listeners, you're going to just have to, Dave, you're going to have to just describe to them what's happening.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to do an impression of an experience that I've had within the last week.
Okay.
And I'll start describing it after I do this. So just bear with me for a second. Okay, here we go. Ready? Here we go. I drove PETA's M3.
Ian, you can only see the like a little old lady driving a car, right? You can only see knuckles and white hair. Just Ian's down at the bottom of the frame.
So PETA assured me that his seat was adjustable, fully adjustable, and that I would be able to drive the M3. And this is a pretty good approximation of what that must have looked like to anyone who saw me from the outside.
Oh, he's teaching a toddler how to drive.
A toddler with a shock of white hair.
You look like Wilson on Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to drive one of the greatest cars of all time.
It's amazing. I'm so excited that I got to drive it finally. I don't think I've ever driven an E36 M3 before. I haven't. No?
Okay. The only one I've driven is PETA's. Yeah.
Yeah. I've driven an E46 before, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. I love it. His seats are super comfortable. The distance to the pedals and the wheel, not an issue.
Okay.
The distance between my head and the dash, a little bit of an issue.
So the seat doesn't raise up. You would need some kind of like insert to sit upon.
A little booster.
Okay. I said insert. You said booster.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
We know you meant booster.
You're projecting. I've had enough.
We know what you meant. You meant I'm a little baby who wears diapers. That's fine. That's fine.
Goo goo gaga. It's an amazing car.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the feel is just otherworldly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's got that. It's just has that BMW magic.
Yeah.
Of like everything that you want it to do, it just does it, and it just knows, and your body is already attuned to all of the inputs immediately. Like I got in, and within a block, I was doing downshifts, rev matching, and stuff. Like it just easy, just makes sense to your body.
Yep. Yeah.
The Germans. They know what they're doing sometimes.
Sometimes.
I just want to be real clear. Sometimes.
Other times they absolutely do not.
Yes.
Yes.
Many. There's lots of examples where they did not know.
Yeah, or they knew what they were doing and it was the wrong thing that they were doing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to be totally clear.
I don't think anybody who listens to this show thinks we're even remotely aligned with Nazis. So I don't think we need to worry about it.
We got to make sure.
We do need to make sure, but yes. So yes, we will say it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do not have to, in all circumstances, hand it to the Germans.
Correct.
When it comes to clutch feel on the 1998 BMW M3, yes, you have to hand it to the Germans. That doesn't mean anything else.
Right. Yes. No, it's an amazing car, and the amount of work that PETA has put into it, the love and persistence that he has put into that car. Honestly, I think like you watch these like really like good, like say like a Haggerty video or something like that, or something about an owner and why a car is special to them. Mm-hmm. Like PETA and the M3 are perfect fodder for that level of documentary filmmaking, in my opinion. I mean, it really is like, it is a story that needs to be told, I feel like, and it is, anybody who knows him knows that like, the wonderful spirit that he is and the love that he has put into that car. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it really shows.
And so I want to hear more about the track day that you and PETA had with the M3 and the HHR and everything else.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm very glad you got to experience that car, Ian. That's fantastic. Yeah. So last Friday we had a track day that I think was on the 16th, August 16th. Took the day off of work, went out to the track, only had to take one work call. So, not bad. But the weekend before that, I actually put my Lexus up at the barn where we normally store the HHR, and I drove the HHR down to my garage so I could have it for a week. Because when we were up there, I think that I can't remember if I said it on the show, but we thought that everything might be okay with the engine.
Yes. Okay. We talked about that with
Joel. Yeah. So, here, let me pull up a picture and share it with the folks.
That wasn't the case?
No. So it was really interesting. So I had it in my garage. There it is, looking all nice and clean-ish. And for a week. And I think this is one of those interesting things where there's certain things that come out when you just spend time with a car, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you daily drive it, when you have it for hours at a time, things like that. Like the things that, and collectively, we as a team have never really had the opportunity to do this because it was, just the way that things came together. Nothing wrong with how it came together at all, right? But there's only things that present themselves when you have like spent hours and hours and hours with a car, right? Mm-hmm. So up at the barn, Joel and I drained the oil. It was looking good. We did a bunch of oil changes. I drove it all the way down to my house. Temperature stayed great. In stop and go traffic in 95-degree weather on 25. In traffic jams, it would get up to 220. The fan would kick on at like exactly 220. I had an OBD tablet up the whole time. And the temps would go right on down. And so we have more confidence in this engine than we've ever had before. So I had it in my garage for the week to kind of like double check all the cooling stuff, do a few more oil changes. I got some of the liquid moly engine flush stuff. So I ran one of those treatments through it. Got a bunch of Kirkland oil for it, the 5W30 Kirkland oil, which is about half the price of what you would get for full synthetic oil elsewhere. It's like $35 or $33 for 10 quarts.
Oh, wow.
And it's not bad oil. It's one of those things like if you're changing it often, it's fine. Send it. Mm-hmm. And so got a bunch of distilled water, got a bunch of oil. And then I was doing some tech stuff as well to like set up kind of like version 2 of the live streaming stuff. And so as I was kind of like draining the oil and working on tech stuff, and I'd run it for a while, a leak presented itself in the cooling system, right?
Wow.
So we already had that thermostat cap with like that extra nipple blow out, right? This was a leak coming from what I thought was the radiator cap. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a couple different ways that things can go when you see a leak coming from the radiator cap. Okay. So radiator caps have a like the whole system holds pressure usually in most cars, right? And those caps, those radiator caps have a fail point at which if there's too much pressure, they will eject coolant out of the, or off gas out of the cap. This basically,
by design.
Right. Yes. This is basically like the fail-safe like valve on your water heater that keeps it from grenading through your ceiling. Right. Yeah. And so if a radiator cap is leaking, there can be a few things. It can be the seals themselves on the radiator cap that are just letting, like it can't even get to say, for this one, I think is 15 PSI. They all will tell you what their failure point is if you look up the part. Right. So this one's 15 PSI. So the seals could be bad. I think it's the original radiator cap on there. Or you could be pushing exhaust gases from the engine through a blown head gasket, cracked head, cracked block into the cooling system and overpressurizing the cooling system.
Oh, okay.
So one, very high consequences. The other, not so much. So this is one of those moments where like beautiful mind stuff starts to happen. Right. And so I'm like, I woke up at 3 a.m. and like was finally putting all this stuff together in my head as to like this leak. I had wrapped like a shop towel right around the cap. And so I was pretty convinced the leak was coming like right from the cap. Found a new cap, like everybody has them because it's GM Ecotech, right?
Right.
Yeah. And it was like $8 or $12 or something. So it's, right. Yeah. And then got the cap, but before I swapped out the cap, I took a better look and I did like some soapy water, right? Bubble analysis. And on the upper radiator hose, there, like the fill neck is in the middle of that upper radiator hose. And so I figured out that the leak was actually coming from the casting junction of that radiator hose. Here's the part, right? I took it off of the hose, put soapy water on it, and had the cap on, blew into it, cleaned it off really well, of course. Yeah, blew into it, and soapy water was coming out of that seam. You can kind of see that casting mark there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so it was bubbling from that seam.
Plastic, or is it?
It is plastic.
Yeah.
Yep. So I found another one online. O'Reilly had it same day for me at 4:30 p.m. And I found this at like noon or something like that. Nice. I ordered one from O'Reilly near me. Ordered another one from AutoZone as a backup. AutoZone never filled the order.
Huh.
Yeah, they said they got it. They haven't charged my card yet. So I'm going to cancel that. But like, I was like, I found two of them. One of these should come through, right? Thank you, O'Reilly, because it did. So yeah. So nice. That's something that would have bit us on the track day. And that's the kind of thing that you can like really only find if you're just with a vehicle while it's running for a while. For sure. Right?
What were like people's reactions to the car? Like, were people doing double takes, or were they just like not paying attention? Did they just think you were an idiot? Like, what were people's like reaction to you on the road in that thing?
Yes, I think all of the above. A few people looked over. I didn't get any honks or thumbs ups or anything. I'm making some vinyl graphics for it that I think will kind of like elicit more crowd engagement. Yeah. Yeah. So most people just kind of go by, but like a few people have asked me about it, like when I stopped to get gas and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh man, this thing must be fast." And I'm like, "You could not be more wrong, buddy."
It's maybe slower than it was before.
Honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. All positive, all fun. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's it's hilarious driving around in a fully caged race car. Yeah.
Does it have air conditioning?
No, yeah, we took the AC system out. That was another thing Joel and I did up at the barn to help with the cooling. So it turns out the AC system had a leak in it, so it was already almost 100% depressurized. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, exactly. So we pulled it. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It makes for a lot more room for activities in there. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And a lot of weight. I mean, an AC system is what, 40 pounds? Something?
So
I mean,
I haven't had time to pull the compressor off yet. So we pulled everything else except the compressor. And I did short belt it because the compressor pulley was getting a little squeaky. So I did short belt it at least. So they do make a model without air conditioning. So you can get a shorter serpentine belt for it.
Oh, great.
Guess how much a serpentine belt was on Rock Auto, Ian?
I don't know, $5-6.
You're $6. And this isn't even for like the cheap, like, schmerpentine belt. This was like Continental's like sub brand or whatever, like their like daily driver level. Yeah. Yeah. So I got one short belt. I think they're 2 millimeters different. But the tensioner soaks it up. So it's fine. Yeah. One from like F something. I can't remember. Yeah. Some brand I've never heard of. And then like the Continental sub brand or whatever it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And one was $5, one was $6.
Nice.
I also ordered a radiator just because, right? Like that's a thing that could absolutely ruin your day.
Yeah. Do those have plastic
end caps
connections on them? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, those are definitely crack.
Exactly. Guess how much the radiator was?
Oh,
and it wasn't even the cheapest. It was not even the cheapest. It was like a decent
$60.
I think it was $80. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, got a radiator just
amazing.
In case. Right.
Those engines are so cheap to maintain. Man.
Right. Honestly. Like when we were in the junkyard that day that we pulled the windowed block, like there were so many cars there with that engine that had over 250, even 300,000 miles. And that was like the last oil change thing that it probably ran for a long time after that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Playing like junkyard detective, you're trying to figure out how many miles are on an engine that you can't turn the key on for. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I like that.
So I need to start bringing a jump pack. I wonder if we can juice these cars somehow to get some juice to
or just
ECU.
bring a little battery.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that anyway. So found that leak. Everything's running super tight and dry. Temperatures are looking great. Did a compression test. Cylinder 2 still not doing great, but everything was like when the engine was warm and I put a cap full of oil on top of each cylinder. Which compensates for bad rings, right? It was getting, I think, 120 in most cylinders, and the low one, cylinder 2, I think was like 105. Yeah, so not great, but not horrible. So yeah, we're keeping a journal of the compression tests. So yeah, and we now have 2 backup engines. So one is the one Joel's building. Our buddy Johnny reached out, so I gotta ping you. But Johnny, Joel's all up to date on like the reluctor wheel and like all the stuff you need to change. Yeah.
Nice.
And then one that was pulled that's at the shop that the car's at now. So yeah. So long story to get the car ready, but I have a quick detour if you don't mind. Okay.
Well, that's why we're here.
All right, buddy. So, yeah, I'm just going to put it on you and me. Okay. So the coolant fill neck piece, that plastic piece that I ordered, from O'Reilly, there's 2 O'Reillys near me, right? It turns out I went to the wrong one first, right? Happens. I'm walking out of the wrong one, getting ready to drive to the other one. I walk right out of the O'Reilly door. Their front door glass had gotten broken, so it was a sheet of plywood, right, with like the spring on it, like a screen door, right? So I pushed that open, and there's a fucking 1999 lightning blue 3-door Saab Viggen right there.
No
right
way.
there, like right out
It
the
broke
door.
down right there in front of you?
How lucky, right? And it looked good. Okay.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, sweet. So I'm going to get a picture of it. So I
So
went.
surprising to see one at a parts store.
I know, right? Can you believe it? Yeah. Yeah. So it's like two Republican politicians meeting in an airport bathroom.
A plus.
So I go get in the Nuggie and I'm driving by and I stop by the back of the Saab to take a picture of it. And the guy comes out. It's kind of a younger kid comes out and he sees that I'm about to take a picture of the Saab. And I was like, is this yours? And he was like, oh yeah. And I was like, dude, that's amazing. I used to have one. I pointed at the sticker on the Nuggie, the Vegan Angel. And he was like, oh, no way. I was like, dude, like, I miss it so much. I miss it every day. Like, give me your number and I'll or text me and I'll send you some stickers. I'll mail you some stickers. And he was like, oh, cool. Yeah. And I was like, I'm Dave. What's your name? And he was like, Benjamin. And I was like, you used to live in Littleton, didn't you? And like, you know, I'm in Westminster now, like complete like 20 some odd miles away. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you bought the shell of my Vigan. He bought my Vigan. It was Ben that bought PETA and I's Vigan after I blew the engine.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it lives.
His lives. So the whole reason that I was motivated to sell it to him for stupidly cheap was to keep his running, right? The transmission in PETA's and I's was perfect. The front bumper was in much better shape than Ben's. You know, a lot of other parts were in great shape, right? And Ben's now has 280,000 miles on it. He's still daily driving it. And it is still going strong.
And it's got some of your Vegan. That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy? Oh, and this was at the wrong O'Reilly's. I wasn't even supposed to be at that O'Reilly's. If I looked at my freaking order before I went.
But weren't you though?
Ian.
Yeah.
The Saab Spirits sent me to the parts store. Go figure.
Yeah.
Like they always do. Right?
It's like the worst version of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, where it's just how many jumps does it take to get from you to any Saab in the country?
Honestly. And now that we know Dimitri, probably that's just two hops. It's
2 hops.
Yeah, it's like us, Dimitri, that person. That's it. Every single 9.3 and 9.5 that's ever been made.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah. So I told PETA, I told my wife, she was like, what? Like, yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
Is bonkers.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that your Vegan lives on.
Right? It's keeping Ben's running. 280,000 miles, man.
That's fantastic.
On an engine that's known to not be so great about keeping the rod bearings in place.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't say.
Right?
Yeah. Sometimes in dramatic action.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that was the detour I wanted to take you on before the track day.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
An amazing story.
Yeah. Just chance encounters, you know? Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Well, so hot tip. If anybody wants to meet young men, buy a Saab one time, own it for just a few years, and then you'll be able to meet young men for the rest of your life. Based on that Saab ownership for a short period of time.
Yep. And one dude might get weirded out. by you 3 years later still having his phone number in your phone. Yeah.
Oh, you already had his phone number in your phone?
Because I don't delete old text messages. I was like, does it end in blah, 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 blah? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, cool, I'm sending you a text now. Just reply with your address.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
There you go. Yeah, Benjamin.
What was he buying at the store? That's what I want to know.
Coolant. Ian, he was buying coolant.
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
It wasn't oil. It'd be one thing if it was oil, because you're like, oh, dude's just doing a change. No, it was coolant. And I didn't ask if anything was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're like, I got to get out of here quick.
Oh, yeah. As I try to peel out the nuggie, freaking the head gasket blows on it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
I love that. I cool. That's so funny.
Right. I knew you were going to ask, and I knew that you were going to ask, and I was just going to let it happen. I should have done that thing where like I wrote it down and sealed it in an envelope and then just like slowly opened it in front of you after you asked. Yes, that's what I should have done. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. There you go, man.
Great. That's an awesome story, Dave.
Thanks, dude. Blast from the past. There you go. Yeah. So back to the track day, man.
Yes.
Dude. Yeah. Went out there with Chad and PETA. Our buddy Joel couldn't make it. Just kind of did like a preliminary live stream setup. So set up the live stream. Our buddy CT dipped in to say, hey, so great to see you, CT. This is kind of like a partial iteration of how things are now that I'm showing on camera. This is under the live tab on our YouTube channel. I didn't have any sound for this because I just kind of like got it up and running that day. Yeah. But we have a pedal cam, we got a rear cam, we got a wheel cam.
I love the wheel cam, and I love that you guys have a passenger seat in the car.
Yeah, we do. You have to take it out for lemons. But yeah, we do have a passenger seat. And so PETA was instructing Chad this whole day. He did a few laps. He did some in his M3. But mainly he was focused on teaching Chad. And Chad was rocking down to a 238 by the end of the day.
Nice.
When you can only hit 80 something miles an hour on the straightaway.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
When everyone else is hitting like 110, 120 easily.
What is I got to imagine turn 4 in this thing has got to be a little scary when there's traffic around, because some people are piling into that corner with some speed.
Right.
And you are not.
You're the one who's not changing speed, so it's not really dramatic for you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess. Do you have to brake for turn 4?
You do have to brake. Yeah. Yeah, you do have to brake. Yeah.
But not much, right?
No, not a lot. I'll have to look at Track Addict to see like what the data shows for like what he got down to in that corner. You know what? I have it behind me. Do you want me to see if I can pull it up real quick?
No, that's okay. That'll take a while. But I think, turn 4 in a lot of cars is like a 60 mile an hour corner.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
So you're shedding like half your speed, like if you were in a normal car, right? Like in the Vigan, it would hit like $110, $112, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about what PETA's getting.
My car's about the same. It's a little bit
right.
Like 108 sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if
you're lift and turn in, honestly.
If you're right. So yeah, if you're only scrubbing off 20 miles an hour versus like 60 or 70 miles an hour,
right,
it's a lot less dramatic for you than other people there. So
true. That's a good way to put it.
But Chad did awesome, man. PETA did great. The car ran fantastic the entire time. No issues with the water, with the oil, anything like that. Great. Did I do an oil change after? I think I did. I did do an oil change after, and everything's looking great. So
great. It sounds like it's time to slap a huge turbo on it.
No, yeah, we're all kind of like really aligned on like, just getting it out there and just like letting everybody just have an hour at it, turn after turn after turn. So yeah, we're going to be really revolving through folks in this next race. To get everybody's seat time. So I don't anticipate we'll finish well if the truck does run the whole time. But I think we're gonna have a great time. So
that's great.
Yeah. We have 3 weeks and change to the race. So yeah.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, but very promising, right? Fantastic. We didn't have to drop another engine in it. Yeah. Yeah, here's the center stack, kind of how we have it now. Yeah, so I just like 3M taped the RGB LED remote up there for the turtle tail and the snowboard and stuff. But yeah, got an Android tablet, just a cheap ass tablet from Costco, a Samsung. I think it was like 110, and like a $9 OBD Bluetooth thing.
Nice.
Home built radio, with the Baofangs or whatever. Yep. So there you go.
That's great. Yeah, I think the only thing that I have with the tablet, the thing that we always worried about was it baking and getting too hot on the dash like that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear how that goes. If it gets too hot sitting in the sun.
Sure. Yeah, we ran it all day.
That's great.
It was great. I ran it the whole way home. Never never shut it off. Basically just kept it going the entire time.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it just doesn't have a like super beefy processor or anything, but yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, here's kind of the OBD display that we just have pulled up all the time. I'm going to tweak this a little bit just to turn the vehicle speed into a more readable thing, and the RPMs. But yeah, trip duration and a clock so people can tell how long they've been out. The trip duration resets every time the car starts up because you're hitting the kill switch.
Right.
Max speed just for fun, And fuel remaining. We do have an issue with fuel slosh. I was watching it like, from the pits, like doing my Sev thing. And I saw like on turn 6, like High Plains Drifter, when it would go from like saying 7 gallons down to like 2 gallons. And I think it's a 16-gallon tank, something like that. So
that's a big tank. Actually.
Yeah. Yeah. And it gets great mileage. Like,
for that little engine, that's a good sized tank.
Right. Yeah. So
you can probably get a full 2 hours out of it then at High Plains, right?
Probably could. Yeah. I think we could. I think that we have done that essentially, like in a couple just different steps without refueling. We've run it more than 2 hours on the track. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So I do think that we're going to be pitting more for driver changes than we are for fuel. So
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah. Gotta get everyone's tea time. That sounds great.
I did. So the live stream, I could only get it going for a little bit of time because my battery pack died. That actually had a heat failure. So I spent a little bit of money and bought like one of those like camping battery packs with like active cooling, like it has fans built into it.
Oh, cool.
So I did a test stream just in here, right? With all the cameras, the cellular modem, everything pulling off of that battery pack. It ran for 2.5 hours just off of the battery pack and only took it down 50%. Wow. So if we're feeding the battery pack DC current to charge it while the truck's running, we should be okay. So there you go. I think I have fixed the power concern.
Nice.
So there we go. I'm going to test it at Autocross this weekend to make sure it holds up.
Does it weigh a lot? The battery pack? Is it heavy?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like. It's like 9 pounds. It's like 9 pounds or something.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you guys aren't building a super fast car anyway. So
exactly.
It's not like.
Yeah.
That's fine. I was just curious.
No. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm also just imagining like a Formula One team being like, "Hey, here's what we're gonna do. Here's a 9-pound battery pack.
Right.
Hear me out.
Yeah, exactly. Because Dave wants freaking GoPro streaming the whole time.
Lewis, you're gonna have to cut off some toes.
Honestly, the fact that they still have that kind of tech in the cars,
it's crazy.
I can't even imagine how much those setups cost, right? To do what they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to broadcast the way they do. That's insane. Yeah.
But I think they have to mandate that everyone has it, so it's not an advantage, but still, it's pretty bonkers.
Yeah. And it runs for 2 hours and change easily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. I don't know how they do it, but yeah. So
one day we'll have somebody on who can tell us.
Yeah. That's a good idea. So yeah, truck ran great, looking good for the race. So we'll see, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Are you going to be able to drop by? Do you want me to get you a spectator ticket?
That is the plan. I'm going to try to drop by and maybe see the start. Finally,
Okay.
maybe bring Nico with me.
Okay.
So that's the hope.
Kids under 16 get in free. So I will send you a spectator ticket.
I am happy to get my own spectator. You have to do that.
I get you a spectator ticket.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's my Lemony update, man.
Awesome.
There you go.
Very cool.
What do you say you give us a rental car report? We do a license plate game, and you give me an album of the week, and we get out of here.
Sounds great.
Okay.
I have in my possession right now a 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe.
Oh, I think I saw one of these. Is it where they're trying to ape the Land Rover Defender?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw one the other day and it upset me.
Yeah, and I don't know what to think about it. So, I mean, like we have been pretty pro Hyundai Kia of late. But I think, I don't know, there's something weird about this where it is very nice inside.
Okay.
But it is really let down. It is kind of betrayed by the drivetrain where like everything feels pretty premium.
Sure.
And nice inside. And it does feel very Defender-ish.
Uh-huh.
But the drivetrain is just so unrefined that it was just every time that you go to start from a stoplight and the auto start makes you go, you're like, oh, right. That's right.
It is a Hyundai.
I'm in a Hyundai.
Okay.
It's just it's really weird because you can kind of forget until something like that happens.
Okay. Just takes you right out of it, huh?
And it takes you right out of it. It's like, when you're watching a movie and it's got you, right? And then like an actor who shouldn't be there shows up.
Yes.
It's like a cameo that takes you out of it instead of making you enjoy it more.
Right.
And you're like, oh. Or like they choose a song that's not quite right.
Right.
It yanks you out of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
Okay. Yeah. I saw one of these on the road and it kind of upset me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mind. I'm not precious about the Defender or Land Rover in particular, and so I don't mind that they are ripping it off because honestly, I think it looks good.
It does, yeah.
And I think they pull off the interior pretty well.
Okay.
Even in rental spec.
Okay.
It's just the drivetrain just lets it down. It just feels very like unrefined. Like you remember like I think the Telluride is sort of the same way, where like everything feels like a premium product, but then you like put your foot down and it's like, oh God, like don't do that.
Yeah. I haven't mentioned it on the show yet, but I have driven a 2024 Defender.
Oh.
Yeah, at RMDE.
Oh, that's right.
So I would be really interested to see how this felt compared to that.
It would be interesting to drive them back to back.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right? Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the new Defender. Like everything was nice, but haven't talked about it yet. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you drove the pseudo Defender. I drove the Defender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I drove the Fender.
Yes, right. The faux fender.
The faux fender.
There you go. And like even that steering wheel, the center like square jaw line coming down.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just such a straight rip off for sure.
Yeah. No, Apple, you can't install an OS update while I'm talking to Ian. It's like, please enter your password to install the software. No, Tim Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's my rental car report. That's all I had to say about that.
Okay. And so how long did you have it? Is it still in your possession?
I have it now. So only for a day or two. But
okay.
But yeah, it's nice, but not that nice.
what kind of hooliganism did you get up into in it?
I haven't done any hooliganism in it. It doesn't really lend itself.
I was going to say, this doesn't seem like the kind of vehicle you would really mess with.
No, it's hard. It's hard to do anything fun with it. And also, the gear selector is stupid.
Oh yeah, what is the gear selector? Is it
It's
the
right-
thing
did
on the
you see
column?
Yeah, and it like twists,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
twist it. It's like a USB-A
Yes.
where you do it the wrong way every time somehow,
Yes.
which doesn't even seem possible.
No, I know exactly what. Yeah, it's this thing right here. Yes.
Yeah, and you like twist the end of it to go and drive or reverse.
Yeah.
Don't care for it.
No. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah.
Yeah, push buttons would be better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't understand why we're seeing so many goddamn different shifters. Like this is.
Yeah, everyone has lost their mind and has decided that Prindle is no longer okay.
Right.
Prindle was fun.
Prindle was fine. Moving a stick is fine for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that it's
Dave
there.
wants to hold a stick.
I want that stick in my hand.
Yeah.
Want to wrap my phalanges around it. The sleek cherry wood. I want that wood in my hand. I want to polish this knob while I'm driving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See?
Right?
Not that hard, automakers.
it's not.
Come on.
No, it's not.
Get your shit together.
All right, let's clean it up because I think we need to keep the license plate game kids safe.
Sure. Yeah.
You'll see why. You'll see why.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Ian, I do have a license plate game for you.
I love it.
Okay.
Excited.
This comes courtesy from our buddy Dana down in Florida.
Oh,
Okay.
good. So I know it's going to be a good one.
And his adorable son, Dash.
Okay.
Okay. So, Ian, these are just Dana plates, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
Florida.
Here you go. Boom. All right. There's
Okay,
Dash,
so
adorable redhead kid.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got is that a GLA? Mercedes
Correct.
GLA up top.
Yeah, the weird thing they shared with Infinity. That was a weird time, right? Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
And then we've got an F-type convertible in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a Kia Soul, all three white. All three white cars.
White. Uh-huh.
White. Okay. And then both barrels is the first plate. BTHBRLS.
Mm-hmm.
Growl. And then Nintendo. NN10 do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. And Nintendo, Growl, and both barrels. When I first saw the both barrels plate, my brain did not see the R. And so it went to a whole different place.
Both.
We're not going to say it because it's kids safe segment, Ian.
Oh, sorry. Kids safe segment. Okay. Oh, I see. I see. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Both
so
barrels.
My first thought is that Growl has got to be on the Jag.
Okay.
It's Jaguar and it growls. Sure.
Okay. Some zoomies and enhancies.
Zoomies and enhancies, but oh my God, that face is adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's wearing a tiger shirt. So of course that says Growl. Yes, it's got it. That's what it's got to be.
Okay.
I'm sticking with that. Okay. So then
I can't wait for you to start rethinking that later in the show.
And then let's look at the Mercedes.
Okay. All right.
Not much to go on here. GLA 250.
Yep.
Some tint because we're in Florida.
And just an Automax plate frame. I mean, it looks clean.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then let's go down to the Marines. Is that what it says?
Yep.
No. Yeah, Semper Fi Marines.
And I don't know if this comes through, if you can see this. Here, let me do some extra zoomies and enhancies.
Okay.
See, the plate frame here has some embossed or some molded items.
Yeah, some bullet holes.
No. Well, there are kind of bullet holes, but the things on the side, the marine,
the rifle
accoutrement,
and the sword. Yes, okay.
Yes, the Marines love it when people call that their accoutrement.
Accessorize.
Do you mean my gun and my sword? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
They would say weapon. Okay. Nintendo on a Mercedes, though. I feel like you really want me to put both barrels on the Kia.
I don't want you to.
This is tough.
You want you to.
Yeah, so I think without seeing the license plate frame, my first thought would be both barrels on the Mercedes it would be like an affirmation,
Okay. I'm going in both barrels.
Going in both barrels to this sales meeting.
Yes, right. Yeah. That's a hashtag rise and grind. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And then like Nintendo, the GLA is a perfect rise and grinder type car.
It is. It really is.
And then Nintendo, like that sort of fits with the Kia Soul, but then the Marine license plate frame.
That's why we're all about the context clues, Ian.
It changes things, I feel like. So I'm still feeling good about Growl on the Jag.
Okay.
I am gonna say that there's a Nintendo vanity plate on a Mercedes in Florida, and both barrels is on the Kia Soul. I'm going with it.
Okay. I can't believe how disappointed you're going to be. No, I'm just kidding. Ian, You got it all right.
That is crazy.
Nintendo on a Mercedes.
A Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac.
Yep. You're exactly right.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
I need to know more about that.
Yep. And
I know exactly what's happening with the Growl and the gas cap that's been left open.
Well, Dana said this is a real estate agent, like an older lady. This is her car. Yep. It all just fits. And the tiger shirt on Dash is perfect. So thank you, Dana.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. Both barrels. I've had both barrels for over a year.
Really?
I have not found a good, I think it fits in with this. Yeah.
For sure it does.
Yeah.
Both barrels is a hilarious thing to have on your Kia Soul.
It is, right? It made me think of when my wife and I were driving to Palm Springs, and we happened across, just while we were in traffic or stop somewhere to take a rest stop or something. We somehow lined up in traffic, with this Trump supporter in a Chevy Aveo. And they had like a giant Trump bumper sticker on, just the shittiest Aveo. And I don't know, it just seems so, I don't know. Yeah,
because I think that most Trump supporters are very aggro.
Yeah,
especially if they're very outspoken. And to be aggro in a Chevy Aveo, I mean, I guess you can, but it kind of undercuts your message a little bit.
Yeah, both barrels at a Kia Soul. Yeah.
A Nintendo and a Mercedes. I mean, who would have thought?
Right.
It made sense.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the person that has enough money to buy the vintage systems on eBay.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, there was just a large spider just crawled across the wall in my hotel.
That's not good. We're all sleeping great tonight. If
it startles me, that's a big spider.
Okay.
Well, Dave, should we wrap it up with a album of the week? Thank you for this license plate game. It was a very good one. Thank you,
no problem.
Dana.
Thank you, Dana. Absolutely. Thank you, Dash. Yes.
Thank you, Dash. Yes. But yeah, I've said this before. I may have done this album before. We're gonna go. I need some comfort food.
Okay.
In my ears. And I need an album that I can both enjoy and maybe fall asleep to on the airplane tomorrow. because I have had a long few days.
Yeah.
And so I just need to feel at home. And so I'm picking Forgiveness Rock Record by Broken Social Scene.
Okay. I don't think that you have picked this one before.
Oh, okay. It's just, when you see a movie by like, what was it? There's a Coen Brothers movie where it's just like, hey, let's hang out with the Coen Brothers for 2 hours.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or like there's by an artist that you really like releases something, and it's not like breaking new ground or anything like that, but it just feels like home. It's like the first time you hear it.
Yes.
And that's what this record is to me. Like the first time when this first came out, I was like, this is not going to be my new favorite record by this band.
Sure.
But I'm so happy it's here.
Yes. I understand. I understand completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right? It's not there's times when you don't want something to take a turn. It's like the really good chain restaurant that always delivers.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
This airport has a Shake Shack. Fantastic.
Right. There you go. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Right?
So that's what I need. And that's what I'm going to have.
And that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes you don't need to be challenged to just enjoy music, right? Like that's the thing, right? Sometimes you don't need to be challenged with like a car. Like sometimes you just want it to just be the thing. Right.
Yeah. So this is like my comfort food record.
I get it. Hey, everybody loves a good plate of mashed potatoes, buddy.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Mashed potatoes in your ears.
Yes.
Dave, we did a car show. I'm going to fall asleep.
You are.
720-515-1391. Send us the license plates. Tell me to get some sleep. Anything else? Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Tune into the live stream.
Yes.
It's the weekend of September 15th.
Yes. Yeah. So it's September. Yeah. Here, I'll pull up the calendar real quick. It is September. Yeah, we'll have time to talk about it, but we're going to be doing a live stream on the Friday Test and Tune, and then Saturday the race, the 14th, and September 15th the race. So
great.
There we go. Yeah. So tune into the channel. I'll send Ian links so he can put them up on X and Blue Sky. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Please do. Everybody, until then, thank you. We love you. Goodbye.